Hi everyone, it's Paranoid, and welcome to my ASMR channel. Today I'm going to be reading about dogs, varieties, and treatment. This is a reading from the Stock and Horseman book, the Standard Horse and Stock book, published in 1902. Let's begin, shall we? No one can doubt that the varieties of dogs existing today have been produced by selection and crossing. Some breeds which existed 20 years ago have almost, if not quite, disappeared at the present day. The French naturalist Cuvier attempted to make a scientific classification of dogs founded on the shape of the head, length of the jaws, etc. Although these distinctive features vary according to the peculiar qualities, habits, etc. of the breed. This classification does not seem possible as the purpose for which a particular breed is used has largely to do with the form and physic characteristics of the animal. The following classification given by Stonehenge is suggested. 1. Wild and half-claimed dogs hunting in packs. 2. Domesticated dogs hunting chiefly by the eye and killing their game for the use of man. 3. Domesticated dogs hunting chiefly by the nose and both finding and killing their game. Domesticated dogs, number 4, finding game by scent but not killing it, being chiefly used in aid of the gun. 5. Pastoral dogs and those used for the purposes of trot. 6. Watchdogs, house dogs, and toy dogs. 7. Crossed breeds, retrievers, etc. Class 1. Among this class are the dingo, dhole, pariah, the wild dog of Africa, and the North and South American dogs. The dingo is much like the fox in appearance, 24 inches in height, but unlike the fox, carries the tail curled over the hip. The dhole, a native wild dog of India, resembling the dingo, but without a bushy tail. He is a foe to wild animals, even the tiger, and has great speed and endurance. The pariah also is a native of India, and although roving by nature, can be taught to hunt. The wild African dogs are wild, ferocious, and scavengers of the refuse in the village streets. Class 2. The English Greyhound, a combination of strength, grace, and great speed. The head of the greyhound is long, thin, and tapering, with a full, clean eye. The ears small and folded back closely to the head. The coat is glossy and smooth and may be of almost any color. A small greyhound is preferable for speed. The deerhound, an animal suitable for any work, with a heavy head and neck. Color dark blue, fawn, grizzle, brindle. Coat rough, coarser on the back than on other parts of the body. The Russian Wolfhound. This is a more recently popular breed and is seen to some degree in America, although used more in Russia and Britain. The dog is of great size, a combination of greyhound and setter, with an elegant, strong form, and is exceedingly muscular. Class 3. The Bloodhound, largest of hounds. He resembles the English foxhound. Skull narrow and domed, eyes small, set in head far back, and with a third red eyelid. Ears very long and silky, hanging close to the head. Muzzle blunt on the end and long. Coat short but soft. Color tan and black. The Foxhound. The breeding of this dog has been most rigidly selected to fit him for his particular work, and his form is considered a model one for speed and endurance. Head large with good-sized brain, muzzle long with open nostrils, back very muscular, legs and feet of great strength, coat thick and short, color black, tan and white, black and white, and a yellowish tan. The Beagle, a symmetrical small foxhound used in a pack for rabbit hunting, eyes soft and mild in expression with an indentation between. It is important that the dog should not stand higher than 15 inches at the shoulder. The Otterhound. Uncertain in temper, but courageous. They are like the Bloodhound, with the exception of the coat, which is thick and suited to the habits of the dog. The Basset Hound. This dog is a slow traveler, which is considered desirable in hunting deer. The head is similar to that of a bloodhound. The body is long, but the legs are short, with crooked forelegs so that the feet turn out. The Dachshund. This is a German name meaning badger dog. The body is long with very short legs, the front ones crooked and turning out at the toes. The head is long, narrow, running to a peak on top. Bright eyes, long, silky, low-hanging ears. The coat is either long or short and very thick. The Great Dane. A cross between a Mastiff and the Great Hound. He is gentle and easily managed, although so ferocious in appearance as to make an excellent watchdog for an estate. The minimum height for the dog is 30 inches, weight 130 pounds, for the bitch 28 inches and 100 pounds. The head resembles that of a bull terrier. The ears are usually cut, but if not, are like those of the greyhound. Neck long and set cleanly on the body. Coat short and thick. Colors gray, blue, black, white, red, tan, brindle, with patches of dark color. Terriers. Many breeds for different purposes, but with certain characteristics which make the terrier race distinct. The head is somewhat wedge-shaped, with strong jaws and teeth, small, close ears, and bright, deep-set eyes. The body must be very strong and active, capable of speed. The coat may be very long and silky, or short and thick. The Fox Terrier. Used for starting, but not killing the fox. A good rat catcher, intelligent, lively, and companionable. Head narrowing toward the muzzle, ears small, frequently cropped, black nose, dark rims around the eyes. Teeth level, neck clean and muscular, chest deep, well-sprung ribs, loins strong, not tucked up in the flanks. Stern, tail, usually docked, but if not, should be carried high. Legs and feet resemble the foxhound. Coat either smooth or wire-haired. If smooth, it should be rather coarse, flat, and thick. If wire-haired, the coat should be hard, wiry, and longer than the smooth-coated terrier. Color should be brindle, red, or liver, with a large amount of white and a trace of black. The weight should be from 16 to 20 pounds. Irish Terrier. This breed is not so extensively used in America as in Britain. He closely resembles the Fox Terrier but is larger, a fighter, but companionable to man. Coat straight, flat, much like a wire-haired Fox Terrier. Color, whole-colored, red, wheaten, yellow, and gray. Weight, 16 to 24 pounds. Black and Tan Terrier. A good dog for vermin, but not as popular as the Fox Terrier. Not sociable and sensitive to cold. Head long and narrow, wedge in shape. Eyes dark, very bright. Ears small, set close together on top of the head. Chest narrow between forelegs, deep in brisket, ribs well sprung. Loin slightly tucked up, quarters powerful. Feet black nails, 2 middle toes longest, tail short and tapering. Coat strong and glossy. Color very important, sharply defined. Black prevailing color. Weight about the same as Irish Terrier. The Yorkshire Terrier. A toy dog, the chief feature being the coat, which is long, hanging straight down on each side from the top of the head to the tail. Head small, nose black, eyes bright and dark, ears small and half erect, sometimes cropped. Coat steel blue with gold and tan on the muzzle. Deep tan on the ears and legs. Weight about 5 pounds. Scotch Terriers. Comprising the Skye and the hard-haired, these dogs are gentle and great pets. They stand low with a long body, a Skye being 3 times his height in length. Weight should not be above 20 pounds. Coat on the hard-haired type is about 2 inches long, hard and thick. On the Skye, it is very long, bright, and not silky except on the top of the head. Color, steel or iron gray, black brindle, brown brindle, and gray brindle. The color of the Skye most preferred is slaty or steel blue. Class 4. In this class are included pointers, setters, and different kinds of spaniels. All breeds of dogs, wild or domesticated, have a natural faculty for scenting their prey. But in the case of the class we are now considering, there has been going on a rigid process of weeding out the inferior dogs and breeding only from the best through many generations until a class of animals has been evolved in which scenting game is not only a natural instinct but also the reason for their greatest usefulness to man. A dog thus highly developed in scenting and pointing qualities is of great sagacity, excuse me, and usually of a highly nervous organism. So important are these powers in this class of dogs, together with great speed and endurance, that symmetry and beauty of form are secondary considerations. Setter and pointer. Skull long, not wide, with long muzzle and widely opened nostrils. Eye kind and intelligent. Ears long, low hanging and soft. Neck long and graceful. Shoulders, back, loins, suited for speed and endurance. The leg bones pasterns, and feet must be strong. Coat in these breeds must be very thick and heavy, especially on the ears, legs, breast, and tail. The pointer's coat is soft, short and soft, but not as silky as the setter's. The Gordon is the largest and heaviest of the setter family. The Irish, the lightest built but most wiry. The English is a medium between the two. Head. The pointer's head is wider from ear to ear, consisting of two rounded flats with a depression between. The entire head of the Gordon is heavier than the others. The Irish setter's head is long and thin with a domed skull. All setters' noses should be dark in color. Tail is carried erect, curving slightly toward the back of the animal. Color, in the case of the English setter and pointer, is not of much importance. Liver and white, black, white and tan, blue Belton, white flecked with black. The choice color for the Irish setter is dark red. Spaniels. In Britain, the Clumber, Field, Cocker, Irish Water, and English Water Spaniels are used for hunting. In America, the only one of these breeds which is popular is the Cocker. All Spaniels are of a sweet, gentle, shy nature. Cocker and Field Spaniels. These dogs are low, heavy, and cobby, weighing between 18 and 28 pounds. The eyes should be very bright and of the color of the coat. The neck fairly long but cleanly built, shoulders muscular, chest wide, ribs well sprung, legs and feet strong, forelegs not bandy as is commonly the case. Feet medium size, thick pads, and a deep fringe of hair between the toes. Length of body should be considerable for the Cocker, from tip of nose to root of tail. About twice the height at shoulder, rather more than less. Coat very thick, silky, wavy, but not too tightly curled. Chest, tail, ears, and legs heavily feathered. Color black, liver and white, and various shades of red. Tail usually docked, especially if the dog is to be used for hunting. Clumber Spaniel. Very long body, heavy looking, with great power. Head very massive, flat on top, depression from between the eyes running up to the top of skull. Jaw long with deep muzzle of great strength. Nostrils widespread, eyes soft, deep set and intelligent, ears long, turned over on front edge. Length twice and a half times height at shoulder. Coat silky, straight, rather short, thick. Color lemon and white, orange and white, solid lemon or orange ears. Tail usually docked, carried low. Irish Water Spaniel. Not as popular in America as in Britain, although no dog is better suited for water retrieving and duck shooting. Very intelligent, but not always good-tempered. Head medium length, broad. Muzzle long and broad. Eyes dark and bright. Ears long and curly. Chest deep. Loin rather arching. Tail strong, coming to a fine point at the end. Legs long. Feet large. Coat small curls all over except on face and tail. On head, a long top knot falling over the eyes. Color dark liver, sometimes a little white on breast and toes. Retrievers. This breed of dog is used in Britain for retrieving on land, but in America the Spaniel, Pointers, and Setters take their place. There are two classes of retrievers, wavy-coated and curly-coated black retrievers. Both kinds are large. This kind of dog was probably by a cross between a Newfoundland and the Spaniel or Setter. There are a few qualities which are essential, viz. Speed, endurance, long neck for stooping power, scenting power, docility, and a desire to work. The Dalmatian or coach dog. In his native country, this dog is employed in the same way a pointer is used in this country. Here he is generally used for following a carriage, being adapted for long journeys, muscular though not heavy. The markings are his chief attraction, counting 40% by standard of the club, being black spots on a white ground, the spots the size of an English shilling. The spots must also be so close that there will not seem to be patches of white. The poodle. In Europe, these animals are used for fowling, but in America, their chief use is that of a lapdog. He is very intelligent and is frequently used for performing tricks in the circus, shows, etc. Head large and broad, muzzle long, roof of mouth black, eyes dark, with a direct look, ears long and silky, tail frequently docked. Coat in the Russian, stiff, in the French, woolly, in the corded, long curls. Color, pure white and pure black, sometimes a kind of liver color. Class 5. Sheepdogs. This class includes the rough and smooth collies and the bob-tailed sheepdog. These dogs must be very intelligent, capable of great traveling powers and endurance, and heavily coated to resist rain and cold. Rough collie, head flat, tapering toward the muzzle, the upper teeth projecting a little over the lower. Ears very small and erect when listening, neck long, also loin, tail long, well feathered, coat very abundant, outer coat stiff and rather harsh, inner coat soft and exceedingly thick. Color sable and white, black and white, and black and tan. Size 22 or 24 inches high. Smooth collie is much like the rough collie, excepting his coat, his head also being wider, coat short and smooth. Pomeranian or Spitz, used in his native land as a sheepdog. In this country he has become a pet. He is between collie and fox, the smaller specimens being more desirable. Coat more like fur than hair, much like the collie. Color black or white, very finely marked. Tail curled over the back. Newfoundland, used in native country for draught purposes, and other places for a companion and watchdog, being very intelligent and noble, in which virtues he shares popularity with the Saint Bernard. He is distinctly a dog of strength and activity. Head massive, flat on top. Muzzle short, square on the end. Ears small, hanging close to the head. Tail covered with deep fringe, carried low and slightly curved. Color jet black. Coat coarse, thick but somewhat glossy. Height and weight 27 inches at shoulder and 185 pounds. Class 6. These dogs are used for guarding property and persons on account of their warning bark and their keen knowledge of intruders. The Bulldog. This race of dog was originally bred for the purpose of badger and bull baiting, their strength of jaw being their strongest point. does not of necessity prove that these dogs are always ferocious and on the fight, for their nature depends almost entirely on their bringing up. The appearance is that of a dog smooth-coated with broad, deep chest, powerful, clean-cut legs, and a large head. The dog conveys an impression of determination, strength, and activity, similar to that suggested by the appearance of a thick-set Ayrshire or Highland bull. Standard. Tail smooth, tapering. Weight about 50 pounds. The rose ear is preferred rather than the button ear variety. Coat smooth and short. Color black brindle, liver, and white in varying combinations. The Mastiff. The strongest and most muscular of dogs, except the Great Dane, and a great watchdog, which is an instinct with him. A good companion, gentle, a caretaker of small children, and honest. He will catch and hold an intruder without doing him violence, as in the case of the bulldog. Head broad, body massive, powerful, legs far apart and muscular, skull flat, forehead wrinkled, depression between the eyes, running on top of head. Proportionate length of muzzle to head and face, 1 to 3. Circumference of muzzle measured midway between eyes and tip of nose, to that of head measured before ears as 3 to 5. Ears small, close to the head, eyes small, wide apart, dark, legs and feet strong and rather large, coat short and close, color tawny, fawn brindle, muzzle, nose, and ears black, also around the eyes. The St. Bernard. Large, fine coat and color, courageous, intelligent, dignified, exceedingly popular among men. Size very important, especially head. Head very powerful, skull wide, curving on the sides, eyebrows strongly marked, deep wrinkles on the forehead, muzzle short tip, square end, upper jaw usually overhanging, black roof in mouth, nose broad, ears very large, standing out slightly, eyes medium size, brown, set in deeply, very good-natured expression, shoulders rather sloping, legs heavy, feet large and broad, tail long and heavily feathered, slightly curled up. Coat of two kinds, smooth and rough coat. In the smooth coat variety, the coat is close, wiry, and very thick. In the rough-coated dog, the coat is slightly wavy, never curly and long. Tail bushy. Color markings orange, tawny with white markings and dark shadings. These markings are most desirable. White chest, feet, end of tail, muzzle, collar, white on nape of neck, a little dark on face and ears is considered desirable. Toy dogs. These dogs are small specimens, usually and frequently lack in stamina, being so much confined to the house and having but little exercise with a great variety of food. Toy dogs are usually intelligent, but are frequently obstinate and not always of a pleasant disposition. But they are kept for their good looks rather than for any other quality. The chief breeds of America and Great Britain are the Pug, Spaniels, and Italian Greyhound, Toy Terrier, and the Mexican hairless dogs. The Pug, a dog of not great intelligence, but active and independent, very much like a small mastiff, but entirely different in disposition. Head round, large, deep wrinkles, muzzle short and square, eyes very large, dark, prominent, intelligent in expression, ears soft and small, body, legs, and feet cobby in build, tail, curl from tail over the hip, double curl, especially desirable, coat smooth glossy, but not silky, color silver, apricot, fawn markings on muzzle and ears, diamond on forehead. The nose should be as black as possible. Size 13 to 17 pounds. Toy Spaniels. Long-haired, affectionate, and companionable. The different kinds are known by their color distinctions. Head skull rather domed, branching from eyes. Muzzle is exceedingly short. Nose turned up. Eyes far apart, soft, large, and lustrous. Ears very long, 20 to 22 inches from tip to tip. Longer than in either the King Charles or Blenheim. Tail frequently docked. Coat long, soft, wavy. Legs and feet feathered. Also the tail. Color varieties: King Charles, a silky black and tan. Blenheim, ground white, patches of red or chestnut. Charles I, Spaniel, same as Blenheim, but with black in place of red. Italian Greyhound, nervous, delicate, and exceedingly graceful. He much resembles the Greyhound, with the exception of not having so good a head. Coat short and silky. Color fawns more desirable. Size not exceeding 7.5 pounds. Mexican hairless dog. This dog has almost no hair, the skin being copper colored, spotted with black. Standards. A standard of any breed should mean a nearly perfect dog. Clubs have been established in the interest of almost every breed, and we can attribute the good qualities of most of the dogs about us to the club's care in weeding out the inferior ones and breeding only the desirable. Holding dog shows and giving prizes are a great stimulus to breeders of dogs to excel with each other in the perfection of their kennels. The dog, like most other quadrupeds, is made up of the following sections: of the body, head, neck, chest, shoulders, back, loins, quarters, tail, legs, and feet. Character plays a leading part in the desirability of the dog. He may be properly formed and perfect in almost every other respect, but without a good disposition he is hardly fit for any use. Head. This is a very important part of the dog, as it contains the brain, which is the location of sensitive organs. It also determines the quality and general characteristics of dogs. Neck. It is not necessary to say much on this subject, except that it should be in keeping with the rest of the dog and be free from loose skin. Shoulders. When the animal is to be used for speed, the shoulders should be sloping, as in the greyhound, also the racehorse. Chest. The chest should be narrow in front to give room to the heart and lungs, but it must be wide above. Back. Must be rather short and level, loins and quarters muscular, which means breadth and depth. In bitches, there should be more depth than in dogs. thighs well developed and muscular. Legs and feet. The feet should be strong and muscular. From the elbow to the pastern, the leg should be perfectly straight with a large bone. The pasterns must be strong to enable the dog to gallop, jump, etc. Elbows should also be strong and well turned, but neither in nor out. The feet are of two kinds, the hare foot and the cat foot. It is a question which is more desirable, but is probably more a question of thickening of the pads than the former. The toenails are important, as the loss of one may weaken the foot. The tail may seem to be of little importance, although it has much to do with the character and importance of good breeding. The tail is used frequently to enable the dog to balance himself, and the docked tail frequently causes the animal inconvenience for this reason. Management of healthy dogs. Mongrels are much more easily kept in a healthy condition than high-bred animals from the few essentials in management, such as housing, feeding, exercise, and grooming, etc. There are many opinions expressed on all these subjects, but the surest way to keep your dog in a healthy condition is to find out for yourself what things do and do not agree with him. The dog housing. A life of comparative quiet is almost necessary to a dog's nervous organization. The natural inclination of such a dog is to retire in some corner for a quiet nap 3 times a day, and a dog's sleeping place should be, first of all, cool, temperature not exceeding 60 degrees, clean, absolutely dry, and ventilated. A good arrangement for a small dog is a large wooden box turned on its side, with a rug or piece of carpet spread inside of it. If the dog is housed out of doors in a kennel, then the subject of dryness becomes more difficult to handle. The floor of the house should be raised above the ground. The kennel should be placed in a sunny, sloping position with the outlook towards the south, so that sunlight can reach it at all times of the day. Fresh sawdust spread upon the floor is a good deodorizer. When boxes are used for beds, they should be often cleaned and disinfected to prevent vermin. Feeding. This is a subject of greatest importance to the health of the dog and is responsible for a large amount of the ills of the canine race. For young dogs, milk is most desirable, but the fact must be remembered that food must be varied according to the environments. Cooked meat is better when fed in large quantities. When raw meat is used, it should be closely examined to see that it contains no germs. Cooked liver is excellent, but not as a regular diet. An agreeable dish for a dog consists in boiling sheep or ox heads until the flesh comes off. Flavor the broth with salt, skim off the fat, and mix it with meal, cornmeal, spare bread, or biscuits. Dog bread, as sprats for instance, is convenient, but not good for regular use. Cake, candy, or other sweets, is needless to say, are most injurious to a dog's digestion and bring on many troubles. Dogs that have a great deal of exercise, such as hunting, may be allowed about all the food that they will take, but dogs who are kept close at home and toy dogs require a great deal of care. Breakfast should be simple, but at night the meal should be substantial. Toy dogs must be given very little meat. Milk, stale bread, and eggs are good substitutes. 2 meals a day are sufficient for any dog. Exercise. If a dog is not used for any kind of work, he must be exercised. To lead him by a chain is better than nothing, but it is a very poor idea. To keep a dog chained constantly is a cruelty. It is considered necessary to keep a dog. If it is considered necessary to keep a dog shut up, he should have a yard around his kennel fenced in for his use. When a dog comes in tired out from a long run, he should not be given food at once. Care of a dog's skin. This requires a great deal of work. Brushing is necessary to all dogs, both to brush out any foreign matter which may have gotten tangled with the hair and to improve the gloss and appearance of the coat. Washing. Large dogs are rather hard to handle when washed, and a cold is frequently the result. Keep the dog free from draught in a temperature not lower than 60 degrees. For some dogs, tar soap may be used, but in the case of spaniels, it frequently fades the hair. A good all-around soap is ivory. Use moderately warm water with plenty of soap suds and a scrub brush. When the dog is taken out of the water, dry him quickly, as much as possible, and allow him to lie rolled up in an old blanket until dry. The bitch. The female organs of generation at certain times undergo a great amount of energy, resulting in the maturation in the ovary of eggs which are discharged into the fallopian tubes, where they become impregnated by the male cells. These periods of sexual activity in the bitch occur usually twice a year. Frequently, these periods are preceded by excitement. The mammary glands become enlarged and the disposition is somewhat changed. As soon as the ova have become matured, the female accepts the male. The bitch may usually be allowed in her own time for accepting the male. Dogs in cotu must not be forcefully separated. The time of being in heat extends over about 3 weeks, and during this time the bitch must be separated from all other dogs except the chosen one. It is necessary that the brood bitch be given the greatest care, as her health, temper, and occupation influence her offspring. The mother and fetus being so closely connected, it follows that the fetus must influence the mother, which explains in some cases why members of litters may resemble previous sires. Reversion or atavism implies resemblance to a previous sire. Mating. In considering this, both animals must be carefully selected. The less closely animals are connected, so long as type can be secured and maintained, the better, and the reasons can be clearly seen. Good results cannot be obtained from two extremes. Dogs deficient in health and strength should not be used in stud. Frequently a show bitch or dog is a poor breeder, while a homely one, strongly made and vigorous, will produce puppies much superior to herself. Care of a stud dog. In choosing the dog to mate with the bitch, his condition must be considered, for it may have a marked effect on the constitution of his offspring. Of such dogs, the greatest care must be taken. His food must be nutritious and strengthening, such as eggs, broths, and even cod liver oil and phosphates. He should have periods of sexual rest to enable him to recuperate free from excitement. Care of the brood bitch. She should be wholly matured. Bitches, when too fleshy, are not able to conceive. When in heat, the bitch must have less exercise than usual, avoid accidents, and her food must be less stimulating. Treatment of the bitch after conception is greatly to be considered, and must be remembered that there are several young coming to life at the expense of one organism. Increase in size is seldom noticed before the 4th or 5th week of gestation. The whole period of gestation extends over 9 weeks or 60 days. The last 3 weeks are of great importance. Exercise should be cut down and the bitch should be kept quiet. Ventilation is an important point, life out of doors being essential. Preparations should be made for whelping. All vermin and dirt should be removed from the mother by washing. Matters should be so regulated that the puppies come in summer or spring. At this time, the bitch has an inclination to retire and should be allowed a separate kennel outside and away from all other dogs. Porridge and milk are useful in opening the bowels, but if the bowels are confined, castor oil is a remedy. Medicine should be avoided. A stall or loose box in a stable, which draw in one corner, should be provided. Beneath the straw should be placed a piece of clean carpet which has been disinfected. Only those whom the bitch likes should approach her at this time. The temperatures should not be lower than 68. The mother cleans the puppies thoroughly as soon as they appear, although the bedding and herself may be in a very foul condition. As soon as the puppies are all born, it is wise to renew the bed, using some disinfectant and to sponge off the bitch with warm water, adding a few drops of carbolic acid, and dry well with cloths. It is well to allow the puppies to suck as soon as they wish, as it is beneficial. As it has a beneficial effect upon the bitch. The mother should be encouraged to leave her young and go out in the fresh air and exercise. Choice of puppies. In a litter, all the puppies are not equally vigorous and beautiful. It is wiser to quickly put out of the way any weak or deformed ones. Ordinarily, a bitch cannot well take care of more than 4 or 6 puppies, and it would be cruelty to allow her to have a litter of from 8 to 12 puppies. Care of the brooding bitch after whelping. Constipation and diarrhea must be checked, or her milk may be affected. Constipation may be relieved by a rectal injection. A nursing bitch ought to be fed 3 times a day with most nutritious food. A bitch after whelping grows thinner and losing her coat may have eczema. Weaning puppies. A bitch can seldom feed her puppies more than 4 or 5 weeks and should be aided in her duties after the 3rd week. The only practical substitute is cow's milk, with only 1/2 water for the first 2 days and gradually strengthened to full strength. Soon the young dogs can eat boiled rice and more oatmeal porridge, with stale bread added to their milk. Meat should not be given until puppies are at least 1 year old, with the exception of bones, which have been well cleaned, these being given for the purpose of strengthening their teeth.